It is indeed time for another glorious edition of Pro Talk Wrestling as a part of the game-changing network. I am indeed Nate the Effing Great. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. Of course, available on Spreaker.com, iHeartRadio, Spotify, YouTube, and of course the wonderful SoundCloud. I'm being joined here by a very special guest. I've definitely been teasing it throughout Twitter. Who could this possibly be? It is a member of the Valkyrie, but which member could it be? And of course, I have to do the classic New Day. Who is this possibly? And honestly, you guys, like I said before, Nikki Skywalker definitely set the bar. This woman probably looks to definitely go above and beyond the bar, but we'll wait and see. She is indeed, like I said, a member of the Valkyrie. She is definitely somebody I considered my BFF on Twitter, and for the first time ever getting the chance to have her on the show, this is an absolute honor and privilege to have this person. She is the wonderful, magnificent Danny Death Machine Nolan. How's it going? Good to have you on.
It's going! Yeah, I feel like the glorious was very fitting.
Well, it's from one Canadian to another, so.
Well, also, he's from my hometown, dude, so.
Oh, sweet.
Yeah. So, yeah, no, Bobby Roode it's a perfect one. It's definitely a perfect one.
Excellent. Oh, yeah. Man. I always think to myself, well, geez, I should probably go with, like, the favorite one that she has, but also it's Canadian themed, so it seems right to just do Bobby Roode. So it seems like it works out perfectly, and I don't care what anybody says, he's still glorious to me, and when he turns heel, you're going to see a lot of the absolute best. That is Bobby Roode.
Exactly. Like, I have a friend who works at Starbucks, and every time he comes home, he goes to his Starbucks, and then my friend will message me and be like, Bobby Roode is here. I'm like, if you don't get an autograph one of these days, I'm going to punch you in the throat. He visits you twice a month. This is getting ridiculous.
So, obviously, Danny, a lot of times when I have guests on, the first thing I like to ask them, especially wrestling fans, is what got you so interested in professional wrestling, and what really keeps you passionate about professional wrestling?
Okay, so I got into wrestling when I was, like, really young. Like, I remember being in, I think it was, like, 3rd grade. My dad started me watching wrestling. Like, I vividly remember watching the Rock, Mankind, This Is Your Life segment. Like, I vividly remember that in my head. So I've been watching it for a very long time. But what keeps me in wrestling is, like, you can never really tell what happens. I'm a firm believer that if you have a person who's not into wrestling and they're not sure what's going on, don't make them sit down and watch an episode. Take them to a show, because if you're not going to fall in love with wrestling while you're at an event, you're never going to love it. So honestly, like, I go to a show. I try to go every month. It's usually like an indie show. There's a promotion in Mississauga that I go to nearby. It's not nearby. It's like 3 hours from here. It's fine. But I've met Pete Dunne there. I've met Tyler Bate and Trent Seven there. I have a show that I'm going to in May there, and I get to meet Hacksaw Jim Duggan. So I'm gonna, like, lose my shit. Like, Billy Gunn will be there. I'm already stoked. Like, I have a show in, like, a week now that I'm driving to Windsor to go see, and I'm more stoked for the show in May right now. Like,
that sounds like it's going to be an absolute blast. I mean, you're talking about, going to see, Hall of Famer Hacksaw Jim Duggan, future Hall of Famer Billy Gunn. It just seems like an absolute fun fest.
Oh, yeah. I mean, Gangrel will also be there, so stoked. Like, one of my favorite wrestlers of all time, like, I don't care what anybody says, my favorite wrestler of all time will always be Edge. I bawled when he retired, like a little bitch. So every time I get to see him on TV, I'm stoked. So getting to meet Gangrel is just like a step in the right direction. But yeah, it's going to be like an 80s, 90s throwback night, so I get to dress up. I'm still trying to figure out my costume, so it's going to be good.
That sounds going to be crazy. Well, especially, it shouldn't be too hard to figure out, especially if you've seen the Captain Marvel movie. It will be pretty easy to figure out, okay, what do I wear as a 90s? Yep, basically like this. Nothing really changed too much since then.
I mean, that's fair. I still live in flannel, let's be real.
So you're like the Canadian Mick Foley, basically?
Kind of. I mean, my flannels are all different. I have, like, red and green, and then I have, like, a gray one which has Jack Skellington on the back because I'm that person. But but I literally was like, if I could wear a wrestling tee and a flannel year round, I probably would.
That sounds absolutely awesome. So, what has probably been your favorite match or favorite set of matches, since we don't want to, discriminate too much, to watch, whether it's in the past or whether it's the present? What are some of your favorite matches to watch as a wrestling fan?
As a wrestling fan, I mean, anything where a weapon comes out, makes my day. One of my favorite matches of all time will always be TLC 2, because, being an Edge fan and then having the weapons in there just makes my life. One of my favorite, indie guys is Sami Callihan, which is why there's Danny Death Machine is my Twitter name, because he is the Death Machine. It's fine. And he always has a baseball bat with him, which is just because you never know. If you have a weapon with you, that just adds an extra element to a show or a match where you're just is he going to use it? And if he does use it, how is he going to use it? And honestly, that's my favorite thing in the world is accidental blood. I'm weird. That's the best way to put that. There was a show man, this was back in July now. Ooh, I still have all the pictures on my phone, and I look at them regularly because I always have to bring them up. But where Sammy was in a cage match with a local guy who just got signed to Impact. His name is Josh Alexander, and he hit him over the head with a trash can, but it split him open, and it was not supposed to happen. This guy poured blood for a solid half hour, but it was one of the best technical matches at the same time. It's the blood was just an afterthought at that point, but I'm just I can't look away. It's like a car wreck, but in a good way. So I don't know. I think, my favorite matches, I will always be a fan of the Royal Rumbles, because the stipulation matches make my day. Always.
It's actually kind of crazy. You mentioned TLC too. Me and Mr. Fretz, we actually covered WrestleMania X7 in our recent review past week, and we talked about TLC 2 and how absolutely insane it was. And one of the things that came out of it was something that I didn't know, was the spot where Edge does the spear to Jeff Hardy from him dangling there, and apparently Edge kind of gave himself a little bit of a DT coming down, and I'm just oh, I see that now.
Yeah, that's why he comes up and he looks like he's stunned, and it's because his head hit the fucking mat.
I literally looked at that, I'm also thinking to myself, okay, this might also be one of those reasons why he had to get neck surgery. That's
it's the little things.
Well, I mean, fair enough. I was going to say it's not really a little thing, but at the same time, it's one of those things where it's just it's another day at the office. For most wrestlers, they just decide, you know what, we like to leap off of things, we like to just jack ourselves up. It's one of those things that comes with the territory.
Exactly.
And of course, speaking of territory, you definitely have that lineage in Canada. Stampede Wrestling, one of the best territories of all time, definitely. A lot of people that went through, notably, Bret Hart went through Stampede Wrestling, and there's probably a lot of other names that we could go through. Have you gotten a chance to see Stampede Wrestling events, if they're still around?
That stuff's usually out in Alberta, which is 3 provinces over from me. Gotcha. And you have to think of one of my provinces is the size of Texas. So
gotcha.
Yeah, it's not that simple. But I do follow a lot of stuff on Twitter and Instagram and stuff. I follow Lance Storm on everything, because he has Storm Wrestling Academy, and he trained Peyton Royce and Tyler Breeze and stuff. So he's awesome, and he always posting stuff that up and comers. Especially Chelsea Green, who is amazing. I feel really bad for her because she just broke her wrist.
Shout out to Chelsea Green. From what we've heard, she's definitely had a successful surgery on her wrist. But basically what Danny is talking about is that she had her first match at Full Sails this past week, and midway through the matchup, she broke her wrist, and unfortunately, it is one of those things that probably will keep her out of action for a little bit of a while. But you definitely have to go to her Twitter page, at I'm Chelsea Green, where literally she has so many people, just wishing her the best and giving her all these heartwarming remarks. It's just one of those things where it's just absolutely great. And honestly, I will say this, because apparently this really does come in handy sometimes. A lot of times I'll do that GIF where it's just that ninja just comes to the window and just holds a pig, and it just ends up saying "emergency hug."
Emergency hug, yeah.
And
I love that gif.
it's just so funny. I used that for Chelsea Green because basically she just said, literally woke up crying because Zack Ryder went back on the road again, and it was just like, okay, this calls for this gif, and she liked it, and it's just one of those things where it's like, it definitely deserved to be there. So, Chelsea Green, shout out to you. Hopefully you feel better, and we miss you already, even though we have yet to see you on TV, which is a crime.
Right? I mean, the girl's a champ. She broke her wrist mid-match and finished it, so, like, brava.
And plus she did the Unpretty Her, which, honest to God, is literally the most clever way to reword a famous finisher. Right. Because obviously it was known as the Unprettier for a long time, so now it's just Unpretty Her, which works for the hot mess character that she does.
Oh, I love that character. It's so good.
It's just one of those things where it's like, gosh, Canada has all the cool stuff, and we just got, well, we got certain good stuff. I mean,
you got Randy Orton. That's what you got.
Well, fair enough. He does have his moments. I do want to ask that. This past SmackDown, they actually had a great promo with Randy Orton and AJ Styles. Did you get a chance to see that?
It was so good. It's probably the best promo Orton's cut in, like, 4 years. Like, seriously. And the fact is, him versus Styles is going to be a good match. Especially considering Orton likes to shit on the indie guys, and Styles is, like, the ultimate indie guy. So, for them to go head-to-head, and if Styles doesn't come out on top, so help me God, I will march my ass down to fucking New York and punch somebody. I will enlist my wife. I don't even care. Nikki will be on my
side. You'll just be like, girl, hold my earrings. I'm about ready to go medium on somebody.
I will throw my earrings in the gutter before this happens. I don't even care about them at this point. Like, someone will get hurt.
Don't be messing with my boy, soccer mom, AJ Styles.
Well, that's just it. Is like, yeah, he's the ultimate indie guy, but, like, he worked his ass off, and he's right. Orton would not have made a name for himself if he had to come up through the indies the way everybody else had to.
Well, especially if he just continued to do the whole arms up deal, which
sorry, that is the greatest yoga pose ever. I'm just like pointing that out. If your back hurts, just do an Orton pose. You'll be
good. Oh man, WWE needs to get like a yoga DVD or something like that. Oh wait, they do. It's called DDP Yoga. Got it.
It's not the same. It's not the same.
That is true. That is fair enough. Oh my gosh. But yeah, honestly, WrestleMania is indeed shaping up to be a very eventful and probably a really good WrestleMania. But obviously, a lot of things definitely happened this past week. We had a Roman Reigns beatdown, which we definitely were not expecting. And I will say this. You know Demon Diva from Rant with Ant? So she has a lot of her reactions put up on YouTube, and she also did a couple things on Patreon. And I will definitely tell you guys this. Definitely go check out Rant with Ant's Patreon and become a backer, because honestly, they really do have a lot of great content. One thing that she did literally is she's watching Drew McIntyre beat up on Roman Reigns, and she is just cussing up a storm, which is just absolute. Let me put it like this: that I brought up the whole video that she did from Fastlane, where she's literally telling her friend, "Fist me, fist me." It's just one of those things where it's like, what the absolute hell? Literally, I think it goes to a second level with this video, because she basically expresses her love for Roman Reigns. It's just absolutely hilarious. But then again, I also have to point out that her love for Roman Reigns is nothing compared to one of the other Valkyrie members' love for Roman Reigns, and that being, of course, Kate Murphy.
Oh my God. Okay, so us Valkyrie girls have a group chat, and I swear Kate sends us a selfie of her crying over Roman Reigns or Aleister Black like 4 times a week. It's one or the other. Sometimes it's both.
Well, I assume that you guys probably get the whole, "oh, my ovaries" comment like every week.
Like a lot. But we have ovaries, so it's just like, we know, girl, we know.
Well, I've literally made the joke is that, we have to basically replenish the closet full of ovaries just so that Keith Murphy can make it to WrestleMania, which, honestly, it's going to be tough. It's going to be one of those things where it's like WrestleMania happens, she's going to probably witness Roman Reigns, everything like that. It's going to be one of those situations where it's like, oh boy, we're going to be going through a whole closet full and then have an emergency backup system ready to go for her, this girl.
Honestly, that just reminds me of, like, I went down to SummerSlam a couple years ago, and the boys got me a Dean Ambrose ticket, like a meet and greet with him.
Oh, nice.
So that's pretty much how I felt with Ambrose, is how Kate feels about Roman. So, but she's going to be in the same arena. I was like I hugged him. It's like, you know that scene in Iron Man 1 where Robert Downey Jr. as Tony Stark is like doing the arm thing with all the explosions behind him? That was me.
Wait, you were Tony Stark or you were the explosions?
I was the explosion.
Oh, okay.
Those were my ovaries, I'm just saying.
Oh, man. Shout out to women's ovaries that have exploded because of wrestling. Oh, man. So honestly, definitely do want to talk about a little bit about the Valkyrie group, because I think I touched base about it a little bit with Nikki Skywalker, but want to kind of get your way. How did this group actually, come about? Because there's so many different stories about it, but still really good to hear from different perspectives as to, how the four of you met and how the four of you have continued to be wrestling fans to this day.
Fair enough. Well, when I went down to SummerSlam, I only really knew, the Kings of the Ring guys. So I was hanging out with them, and right before TakeOver, we ended up at a bar called McMahon's in Brooklyn, and that's where I met Christina. So that's how I met her, and then I met Nikki at Raw that weekend, and then I've never actually met Kate, which still hurts, because her birthday was that weekend, and we just, it was a completely, missed pass. We kept trying to meet up, and we just never managed to make it happen. So the four of us ended up just, talking on Twitter one day, and then the guys ended up tagging us all on, the same post or something, and we just decided to be like, you know what, screw you guys. We don't have to talk in this Twitter feed. We're just going to make a group chat. So that's pretty much how that happened. We all just ended up talking in a group chat, and we realized we actually have a lot in common. Nikki comes up here to Canada to visit me, she was just here in January. But before that, she was here in October, and then July. She comes up a lot. She is my honorary Canadian, because if I could make that transfer permanent, she would love me forever, and I'm working on it, damn it.
Yeah, you definitely... You definitely have that running joke, or basically that whole deal where, you basically say that, she's your wife, she's your bestie, she's, basically fill in the blank right here for Nikki Skywalker.
Literally. We established this, I am her if she was Canadian, and she's me if I was American. That's pretty much how close we are at this point. It's we're basically the same person.
You've probably seen, the better side of Nikki Skywalker, because when I had her on, there were about... I would say maybe about a half an hour's worth of footage where literally she has threatened basically to just attack me or just destroy me, literally.
Oh, yeah, that's her in a nutshell.
But then again, I will say there's probably about a good 29 minutes of it was me probably provoking that. So to be fair, I probably brought that on myself.
Honestly, just don't get us started on the pronunciation of certain things, and you'll be okay.
Oh boy, I have to deal with grammar too. Oh boy,
It's not even that. It's because, so sometimes she'll literally just call me up and go, say this word for me, and I'm like, why? I need to make a point, okay? She gave me a full lesson one day on how to pronounce Detroit. I still don't think I say it right. I didn't realize I was saying it wrong. But she just has this thing where it's not even a grammar thing, it's just an accent thing.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay.
Also, don't get her started on the Maple Leafs. She will defend those boys with her life.
Oh, no, trust me. I've seen those feeds where sometimes a lot of people are talking about Raw. I'd come across her, and she's talking about the Maple Leafs, and I'm like, man, is this more important than wrestling? Well, fair enough. I mean, it's
not even that. It's she'll start watching Raw, and then the minute Finn Balor's no longer on her screen, she's like, all right, I can go back to hockey.
That is also true. That is also true.
Sometimes I swear she's a little bit more Canadian than I am.
Well, if she keeps loving Finn Balor, then she's definitely going to be a little bit Irish, too.
She wishes.
Shout out to Nikki Skywalker. Definitely.
Yeah.
We're not here to trash talk. We're just basically here to just
I love her.
Basically just proving the fact that, whatever she says, she's 100% genuine. So.
Exactly. She says it as it is all the time, and if you don't take it as face value, she'll kill you. It's one or the other.
Yeah, that is basically what it is. There's been literally some times where she says, send location, we'll find you.
Exactly. It's like, you're officially on my list. You don't want to be on her list. It's not like the list of Jericho. You will get killed.
that is literally the perfect way to put it. It's just absolutely insanity. So, obviously, throughout the week we're getting a lot of build up to, great matches, and of course this upcoming Monday, which I'll be in the Raw, which is happening in Chicago, we'll be seeing the return of Issa's Beastie, Demon Diva's probably best person, and the one person who basically screwed me and Dave at Hell in the Cell, basically making it a draw between the two of us. That being, of course, Brock Lesnar is going to be coming back. Your thoughts on the build-up so far between Brock Lesnar and Seth Rollins going into Mania?
The build-up itself is doing amazingly. I mean, I feel like they're just trying to get Seth another t-shirt at this point because he really needed one, right? I mean, I love Seth Rollins, don't get me wrong. I'm still probably going to buy this t-shirt. My wallet can't handle it. Anyway, I hate Brock Lesnar with a burning passion. Like with the passion of 1,000 suns. That's how much I hate Brock Lesnar. Like, I would rather lick the subway floor in New York than talk to Brock Lesnar.
Man, that's a lot of ground to cover.
Exactly. This is my point. But the build-up itself is great, and I find every build-up to Brock's matches are usually great because Paul's doing all the talking.
Well, naturally. There's a reason why we enjoy Brock Lesnar now than when we had him during the WrestleMania 20 build-up, which, honestly, you guys still check out the review that's going to be coming up for me and Fretz. We're going to be talking about WrestleMania 20, and I just got done watching... Well, I'm actually just about done. I got one more match I have to watch, and then I'm done with WrestleMania 20, but one matchup that was just a train wreck to get through was Brock Lesnar versus Goldberg 1.
Oh, yeah. It was terrible. They're both, basically leaving. So it's like, why bother putting on a good match, right? Like, screw that.
That was literally the fans' sentiment. And literally, I will tell you guys this, that the grading that I have for this matchup is not good. But is it really a shock? No.
Is it like a -3?
I actually do, letter gradings for that. So you can kind of imagine where that's going to be.
I stand by a -3. Is he going to go A to Z and then go to the numbers? I'm just saying.
It's one of those things where I kind of am curious what Meltzer would have rated that, because I know that one matchup that definitely was a huge negative was a matchup between, I think it was, who was it? It was a TNA Victory Road match. It was between Jenna and Sharmell, I believe it was, and he literally was just like, this is probably the worst match that you will ever see in professional wrestling. And literally I watched it and I'm like, that's some time I'm never going to get back.
Probably.
It's like compared to Brock and Goldberg 1. At least with Brock and Goldberg 1, there's some entertaining deals from Stone Cold and from the fans, and that's about it. Other than that, it's just a bit of a dumpster fire. And even about 15 years later, I still smell the stench that they left from that WrestleMania match.
Yeah, it's literally one of those matches that's just completely unwatchable. Like, you saw it the first time, you're like, okay, but it's never one of those matches like, I'm going to willingly go watch that again. No. Never. I would rather watch, Divas era Battle Royals.
Ooh, that's saying a lot. And I know which ones you're talking about, too. The ones that literally was like...
You know exactly which ones I'm talking about. The ones where the girls eliminate themselves.
The ones where literally it's like, well, you don't have to go over the top rope. You just have to be thrown out of the ring, and that's it. It's like,
right?
Why? That's not a battle royal then. That's just a stupid... It's just something dumb.
They're so dumb. I'm so glad they got rid of the, doesn't matter what rope, sweetie. Like, frick. Like, it like makes my blood boil.
Well, definitely we need to talk about the women and how it's definitely evolved a lot since then. And of course, one of the ultimate payoffs was WWE Evolution. What were your thoughts on that event going into it and then the aftermath?
Evolution was great. Like, I mean, I'm not a Ronda fan. I've never claimed to be a Ronda fan. In fact, half the time I spend on my Twitter feed, I just shit on Ronda. And I'm not really a Bella fan. But the main event was pretty good. I mean, personally, I don't think Nikki really needed Brie just out there being a flag bearer. But I feel like it did its job. You know what I mean? I also, however, feel like the women's tag champs, like, that should have been announced for Evolution. You know what I mean? Like, that should have been something they did at Evolution. Great that they did it at Elimination Chamber. It was perfect the way they did it, except they should have headlined the show, not started it. That made no sense. But, the pay-per-view as a whole was pretty solid, yeah.
And, it's one of those things that says a lot when you have even a battle royal where you have women of the past that basically come out, and there's some that are just like, I don't remember really liking this person, I don't remember liking this person, but you watch it and it's just like, oh, wow, there's actual people here that really I enjoyed, and people that I actually got, behind, where it's just like, oh, wow, this person actually can wrestle. I mean, you got to see Molly Holly do absolutely wonderful, and plus she did tribute to Crash Holly, did the whole walk to the ring, which honestly so many people were probably just bawling out because it's like, oh, Crash Holly, one of the greatest hardcore champions of all time. Mm-hmm. Put him in the Hall of Fame, damn it.
Seriously.
Oh, gosh. Why is Crash Holly? Why is Crash Holly?
I don't know. I mean, Christian's not in the Hall of Fame. Like,
oh, don't remind me.
Still baffled by this, okay?
If Edge can get in the Hall of Fame, Christian can damn sure get in the Hall of Fame. And I know they joke about it on the Edge and Christian show on the WWE Network. It's just one of those things where it's just still like, God, we still need that. And I'm looking forward to when they go to, like, the next season and Christian has a Hall of Fame ring. And literally it's like, well, we're taking this off the market. Just... Oh, my gosh. It's actually crazy is that Christian will be at WrestleCon, so hopefully I get the chance to chat with him and just be like, dude, when are we finally going to get you in the Hall of Fame? It's like, dude, I'm really working on it. I'm really trying. It's like, dude, you were a 2-time NWA champion. They should have at least recognized that. It's like, we have to remember that was in TNA. It's like, still, you were a 2-time champion. I remember you as Christian Cage. That was amazing.
Captain Charisma Christian Cage.
The instant classic.
Close off the tongue.
Just like give him, he's the man of 1,000 names basically in TNA. Let's just put it like that. Oh my gosh, that was just absolutely beautiful. All right, guys, so we're going to take a little quick commercial break, but when we come back, we'll have more of Danny Nolan here, talk a little bit more about wrestling, because why the hell not? Thank you so much, you guys. We'll be right back.
Check out the guys over at Eclectic Media Project. They bring you podcasts such as Musically Challenged. Whose podcast is it anyway? Want to hear something interesting? And their newest podcast, Page 3.14 News. Check them out on Podbean and iTunes at Eclectic Media Project. On their website at www.eclecticmediaproject.com. Check them out as they are the home with a little something for almost everyone.
Hey guys, this is Nate the Effing Great. Hey, have you ever wanted to be a champion but can't seem to really find the money and the time to get a championship belt? Well, you know who's a really good friend of mine? AJ from AJsBelts.com. These guys have a large assortment of championship belts, from classic belts to the modern day belts to championship belts you would not even believe. And guys, like I said, they work with you very well. With an awesome layaway program, there is no way that you can beat these guys' prices as well as these guys' deals, especially when you can give them a little bit of money every now and then until you can get that championship gold. coming from a guy who's a champion and a game changer. I'm indeed Nate the Effing Great. I'm representing AJ'sBelts.com, proud friends of the Game Changer Podcast. And we're back, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Nate the Effing Great, being joined here by Valkyrie Member Danny Nolan. Of course, talking about wrestling, because why the hell not? Let's actually get into some other personal things here. So, when you're not watching wrestling or you're not on Twitter, what are some of your hobbies that you like to do outside of wrestling?
Okay, so every time somebody asks me about sports, I have a firm stance, and if it's not wrestling or Quidditch, I don't know anything about it.
Okay.
So, I am a huge Harry Potter junkie. Like, I have a Harry Potter tattoo on my back.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. The sad thing is I have not seen Crimes of Grindelwald yet, but I did buy it. So, I'm going to watch that later.
It's on the list. It's on the list.
It's on my list. It's on my to-do list. I work a lot. And when I'm not working, I'm usually booking time off to go to a wrestling show. So, it takes a lot of effort to do stuff. Like, I haven't been to see a movie since Infinity War.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's quite a while. That was about a year ago.
Yeah, I live like 5 blocks from the theater. This makes no sense. It's not like I have to go somewhere. But yeah, no, when I'm not at work and watching wrestling or going to a wrestling show, I have a trivia night that I go to every Monday. It's like my guaranteed night out every week. I won trivia this week. Still stoked about it. Which is why I record Raw, and then I live tweet. I really don't have a whole lot of stuff that I do outside of those few things. But, yeah, I mean, I work in a party store, so my life's pretty good.
Is it like Party Central, or is it just like a...
I work at Party City.
Party City, there we go,
The other one.
the other Party C word, whatever it is.
Yeah.
Don't take that out of context, ladies and gentlemen. Just remember that the only F word that we use is Fred Savage. Get it right. I will tell you this. I did actually have like a little golden nugget this week where basically I tried doing like a PG deal where basically I called out anybody that was being a bit of a douche. I literally just said, don't be a Fred Savage butthole. Oh, that one got you. That one got you. It's literally one of those things where it's like, well, you can basically replace it with the actual stuff. You'll get the point. You get the joke.
Yeah, exactly.
But literally, it's one of the only things I got out of Once Upon a Deadpool. Other than that, it was like, yeah, I hate this movie. It's a knockoff of the original Deadpool 2. It's just for little kids and blah, blah, blah. We got it. And then they just said, okay, it's like, Disney's just like, okay, we're not going to mess with the Deadpool movies anymore. And literally, I'm just like, thank you. You deserve a slap in the face, but still thank you.
It's like, yeah, we're going to put those back in the lockbox, and you're not allowed to touch them again. You're not allowed to touch our toys. That's how that works.
This is why you don't play nicely with the other children.
Exactly. God.
Oh, man. So when you do trivia nights, is there like always like a common theme, or is it always kind of a variety of deals?
Well, the guy who runs it, his name is Cam, and he does like a lot of like stand-up comedy at the same time.
Oh, nice.
So trivia starts at 10, and sometimes it goes till midnight. It's a problem sometimes. But Cam's hilarious, and he's like, one of like the rules of trivia is like, don't yell at the answers. A, you're ruining it for everybody, and B, he has a microphone and he will make fun of you. Yeah, but usually the theme changes every week, so he usually starts off with, like, pop culture and sports, and then he moves on to whatever. So, like, last week it was a lot of, he did classic lit, which was perfect for me, because I was a lit major in university.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, and then he usually does, like, movie quotes, and, like, so he'll say a quote, you have to say the movie. And then, what else did he do? He did Mardi Gras, I think. Maybe. I don't remember. It's been a week. Like,
It's been one whole
but
week.
yeah, basically, like, if there's, like, a holiday nearby, like, this Sunday is St. Patrick's Day, so Monday he'll probably do St. Patrick's Day trivia, if, you know, I'm alive.
Well, that just makes it very curious if he's going to actually do, like, a WrestleMania-themed trivia deal the Monday before.
Okay. Sometimes he'll do, if he does Harry Potter or wrestling trivia and I'm in the bar, he literally will just he'll just turn to me and read all of the questions to me, because he knows if I get them wrong, he has the question wrong. Like, he did Harry Potter trivia, like, I'm going to say about 2 months ago now, and the way he worded a question, I was like, okay, I know who you mean, but that's not what you asked. It was a question about Remus Lupin, and I'm like, okay, I'm going to come over there, and I, like, ended up, like, walking over. I'm like, tell me your question again, and I'm going to tell you what's wrong with it. And I've done that to him with wrestling trivia at the same time. At this point, there's people in the bar that know if he says Harry Potter or wrestling, they're not winning.
But still, one of the things, it's all about having fun. It's not about winning, it's about having fun. It's just, you know a little bit more about that subject than a lot of the other people do.
A little bit. Sometimes he'll do, like, wrestling, when he does wrestling trivia, sometimes he'll do, like, 80s, 90s trivia, so other people have a freaking chance.
Oh.
Yeah, so he did wrestling trivia last year in April around Mania time, and he did half new trivia and half, like, classic trivia. So the classic questions everybody else had a fighting chance for, but everyone else, for the new questions, they're like, I don't even know who that is. And I'm like, oh, I got this. I have the t-shirt. Like...
Oh, man. Yeah, I actually do remember going to a trivia night at a bar one time. We did, it was a Disney-themed trivia, and our team won, so that was that was a good moment. And we were called the Goof Troop, so paying homage to, you know, one of the greatest, I don't know if I would say one of the greatest TV shows, but definitely one of the more memorable TV shows of all time. It's actually kind of crazy. I had to reintroduce my co-host to the Bonkers theme song, because literally I just said, yeah, basically this is one of those shows that is a knockoff of this, but it's also one of those things where it looks so annoying that even after you watch the theme song, it's like, I don't think I want to see what comes in this episode.
Exactly. It's like, I don't know what I just watched, but I don't know if I'm ready for more.
and funny enough, I actually did like a whole a whole episode where I talked about the classic Disney shows, and literally I keep hearing the Bonkers theme song, and literally that is like the one thing that's probably the main torture for me, is like, you play that theme song, I will literally be like, yep, nope, don't want to do this, don't want to do this, don't want to do this. It's literally about as bad as waterboarding. Yes, I'm comparing a theme song to waterboarding. It's that bad. That TV show sucked.
Granted, every time somebody says, like, oh, Disney TV shows, my mind instantly goes to DuckTales. So, that's my world.
Well, that's pretty awesome. Have you seen the new revamped DuckTales that they did? Because I know they did a reboot of it.
They did do a reboot of it, and I keep, like, it keeps coming up on my cable guide, and I keep going, do I want to try that and ruin my happy childhood memories, or do I just leave it alone?
So far, you left it alone?
So far, it doesn't exist in my brain.
Oh, okay. Well, I will say this, that I've gotten the chance to at least watch the first episode, and to be honest, it's not bad. It's definitely a difference than what we're used to as kids, and definitely the characters sound a lot different. But for the most part, it's not bad at all. It's actually pretty good. When I say it's better, I think that's kind of a pick your choose kind of deal. Like some people could say, oh man, you know, this Disney remake was better. Like, here's a perfect example. I prefer the original Pete's Dragon over the newer one, just because.
Oh yeah.
The newer one, I'm just not really into. Maybe it's just the character, maybe it's just the story. It just was one of those things where it's like, this just doesn't really work for me. And where are the songs? Where are the damn songs? And why is this even a story? What is going on here with this?
Exactly. It's like the day they decide they're going to remake the Goofy movie, I'm going to riot. I don't even care.
That'll be a dark day in the world of Disney if they try to do a live action Goofy movie. That is a classic.
It doesn't deserve to be touched.
Well, there's a lot of movies that don't deserve to be touched. I mean, 2 of them are coming out this year, and that being Aladdin and The Lion King, which are live action remakes. So.
3, you missed Dumbo.
Dumbo, I'm willing to give a chance because I
am not. They put people in it. Dumbo was all about the animals. I don't care. I'm still mad about this.
Well, I guess this is where we have a difference of opinion because Dumbo was one of those character movies that didn't really stand out too much to me. It wasn't one of those ones that was kind of like, oh man, this was like one of my favorite movies. It was like, it was kind of there. It was kind of fine. I watched this newer trailer for Dumbo and all these live action deals. I mean, it's got, Michael Keaton in it. It's got Danny DeVito in it, which I think to myself, this actually, because Michael Keaton has sold himself to Disney. You have to remember he was the Vulture in Spider-Man: Homecoming. So literally, he's probably going to be attached to a couple more movies. But honest to God, I'm looking forward to him being part of the Sinister Six. That's just me. That's going to be awesome.
Fair. That's fair.
And Danny DeVito, well, it's Danny DeVito. I think he's just trying to find work now.
I mean, he's still working on It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia. I don't know how the hell they keep making episodes of that damn show, but he's still on it.
Man, that's insane. That's insane now that I think about it. Because I would think that would just run out of ideas like crazy. But no, if they find just random ideas that actually work, it's like, okay, I can see why this is a success. I mean, I've seen a couple episodes. Fair. I'm definitely not going to knock on it and say it's a horrible show. No.
Oh, no, it's pretty good, but I'm just baffled that they keep coming up with ideas.
But I'm sure a lot of people said the same thing about certain shows like That 70s Show. I'm sure people are just saying, how are they going to keep going with this? But then as soon as they brought in somebody to replace Eric Foreman, it's like, yeah, this is where it's going to slowly die.
And we're dying. It's fine.
It's fine. It's just a slow bloodletting deal. We're fine. It's cool. It's like, and then don't even get me started on That 80s Show. I literally watched 2 episodes and I'm like, this is not working. Nope, I'm done.
There's a reason there's only 1 season of that show. I'm just saying.
Yeah, there is. And it's not really the good reason either. It's just one of those things where it's like, you're going with different people, so why couldn't we just have the original characters, just have them maybe in the 80s here? Kind of would have been funny to see Kelso trying to access email. It's like, because it wouldn't have worked out so well. I beg to differ.
It's true, actually, yeah. I kind of need that in my life now.
just Michael Kelso just at a computer trying to work on an email or trying to access a website.
The one finger type.
Oh man, and there's so many great things they could have done with that show. But you know what? I'm not gonna knock on it. It's still one of those things that's great. Are you big on Netflix?
Yeah and no. I haven't seen anything new recently. I just finished binge watching the last season of A Series of Unfortunate Events.
Yes. Oh my gosh.
It was so good. Oh my gosh. When they made the movie version with Jim Carrey, I was like, okay, Jim Carrey makes a great Count Olaf. I was just mad that they tried to put more than one book in the movie, and that's why the movie failed. So when I found out they were doing a series and that each episode was going to be a book, I was like, okay, I'm in. I'm freaking sold. And Neil Patrick Harris killed it. Absolutely killed it.
He definitely did. It was one of those characters that I thought, okay, he could be funny, but he also has this kind of serious, definitely killer side to him that he definitely pulled off very well.
Exactly.
The only time I really saw him as a villain was, well, quote-unquote villain, was in the movie A Million Ways to Die in the West, where he was basically the guy...
Yes!
He was the guy with the mustache, just... Literally, and one of his best things is just him taking a crap in a hat, just randomly having the shits, to which I think, wow, this is literally Neil Patrick Harris's comedy in a nutshell, isn't it? And then A Series of Unfortunate Events comes out. It's like, I stand corrected. There you
go.
I will also say this, that it's one of those things where I was not expecting to watch the final episode and to be just bawling after everything that happened. Even having like Neil Patrick Harris's character, Count Olaf die. It was one of those things where it's like, I'm supposed to hate this guy. Why am I crying for him? Why is this sad for me? And then of course they had Kit die. It's like, no, don't let Kit die. No. Why?
Yeah, I was just like, no, I didn't want the season to be over. Like, that was the best way to put it.
It's just one of those things, like we said, series ends and it's like, no, we want more. We don't have any more books to work off. Damn it, make more books then.
I mean, Lemony Snicket did do a couple other books. They just had nothing to do with the Baudelaire children.
Oh, that is fair. I think I do remember somebody mentioning that. But yeah, I've been very high on the series Stranger Things. I think that's one of the best series that they have on Netflix. It's absolutely wonderful. It definitely has a lot of... it has a little bit of horror to it, but not like majorly. Like, it's not one of those things that's going to like, make you crap your pants. No. Not like Gerald's Game or something like that. Jeez Louise, that just scares the crap out of me. And of course they have those like knockoff movies that they try to, be like, hey, watch this because you like this movie. What was one of them? Open House was, I think, the one where I watched it and I'm just like, wow, this is kind of stupid. Because it's supposed to be a horror movie about a creeper going to like these open house deals and basically, kills the people that are staying in there. Why? Don't know. But it's just one of those things where it's like, okay, this is kind of weird. It's over. It's like, I feel like I accomplished nothing by watching this series. It just made no sense. But that's just me. Oh, man. But there are a lot of movies out there that just really kind of rub you the wrong way. For me, it's still Slender Man. Because I was literally watching halfway through it, and I'm just like, oh, I'm going to walk out. Wait, what time is it now? Well, I mean, we're halfway done. Maybe it'll get better before it gets worse. Movie's over. I feel like I lost so much of my life with this movie. I want my 2 hours back.
Yeah. That's how I felt about the second Tron movie.
I haven't heard many good things about Tron. Or is it just the second Tron?
Honestly, like Tron Legacy. Like, I fell asleep in the theater.
Oh, jeez.
Like, I'm not even exaggerating. Like, I passed out.
Oh, man. I've had that happen to me a couple times with certain movies. Oh, man, what was it? Oh, I think it was the Daytime Murderers, I think it was, or something like that. The ones with the puppets and Melissa McCarthy. That was one that I fell asleep during. Or is it Happy Time Murder?
Happy Time Murders or something like that.
Yeah, that was just one of those movies where I was just like...
I don't remember what it was called. I know what you're talking about, though.
And one that I do regret is the first time seeing Aquaman, but that was only because I literally worked a shift and then I thought, okay, I'm going to do this, then I'm going to go see the movie, and literally I was just kind of like on and off, waking up, falling asleep, and I'm like, damn it, I missed a good movie, what the hell's going on? So after watching it a second time, I felt even more bad because I thought, damn it, there's so much good stuff that they had in here, I missed it. No. Plus, also, Jason Momoa, Roman Reigns, they need to make a movie together. Whether Jason Momoa is a stunt double or whatnot, I don't care. It's just like, needs this to be a thing. Because guarantee you, still a lot of women are out there just seeing Jason Momoa have that line of, permission to come aboard. They're just like, oh, you can come aboard anytime, Jason Momoa. Thank you so much.
It's like, okay, when Justice League's trailer came out, and everybody was, like, freaking out about it because all you see is Jason Momoa, like, topless in the water. And then freaking Blake Shelton won, like, Sexiest Man Alive according to People magazine. It's like, who in the damn hell voted on this? Because, no. Did you see that 20 seconds in that trailer? Because that's all I needed. Like...
Just need Jason Momoa. What about Roman Reigns? Who? Oh, yeah. He's good, too.
They could be brothers. I'm good.
Just put them in a brother action film, and I think it'd be kind of cool. They could pull, like, a twin magic of their own. I think it'd be amazing. But that's just me.
I mean, you know that Roman is playing The Rock's brother in the next, like, Fast and the Furious spinoff, right?
Yeah, like, Hobbs and Shaw, I think it is. Or something like that.
Something like that. Yeah.
It's got Jason Statham in it, so it's kind of one of those things where it's like, I might watch it because for some reason, watching The Meg, first trailer that came out for it, I'm just like, oh, this is going to be so stupid. Then I watch it, I'm like, this is actually a lot better than I thought it was going to be. I mean, I wasn't expecting it to have comedy, but I was also not expecting it to be as good as it was. And Jason Statham was pretty damn good in it. I think that both me and my friend... It's weird. It's weird having those kind of movies where it's like, it looks stupid, then you watch it, it's like, that was actually not that bad.
Yeah, okay. So, like, did you see Ready Player One when it came out?
Yes! I am still pissed about the fact that they did not get special effects at the Oscars. They gave it to a spaceship movie, First Man.
Seriously. It's such a good movie, and I don't get why it was shit on so bad. Like, I mean, granted, I never read the book, so maybe that's why. But I feel like if you didn't read the book, it's a standalone movie on its own. Like, it's pretty good.
Oh, hell yeah. I mean, people look at all the references that happen throughout the game. It's just one of those things where it's like, wow, they brought in, like, you know, this character, this character, this character. They even threw, like, some classic references, like throwing in The Shining, which I thought was a unique twist to it. And
so good. Yeah.
It's just absolutely amazing. And even they brought in the freaking Iron Giant in the movie, in which I was just like, oh my god, they brought a childhood classic into this. This movie cannot be horrible. This movie cannot have any flaws. I will also say this, and one of my friends, she saw like one of the trailers for it, and I said, Mechagodzilla! And she's like, that doesn't look like Mechagodzilla. I'm like, shut up. That is Mechagodzilla, and it looks awesome. We also had Gundam. I'm sorry. I'm going to start going into fanboy mode if I keep talking about this movie. It's awesome.
I get it.
Oh my gosh. So, we're just about out of time. We got about like 8 more minutes to chat about stuff. So, maybe one more thing that I definitely do want to hit on, and it'll be more wrestling related. Obviously, there's a bit of debates about Kofi Kingston and, you know, his rise to the top, quote unquote. Basically, you know, stating that, you know, he wouldn't have gotten this spot had Mustafa Ali gotten hurt, and now he's getting into this whole deal where it's Kofi Mania, blah, blah, blah. What are your thoughts on Kofi Kingston getting into the main event title picture at this point of his career?
Well, like, I feel like it's a tough decision, honestly, to be talking about it in general, because it is such a sore spot with a lot of people. I feel like he's so popular right now, if they don't do it now, it's never going to happen. But I also feel like it should have happened like 6 years ago. So it's like all those freaking years where John Cena was basically just trading the belt back and forth between like 3 different people. They should have taken a chance and just been like, okay, no, this guy's killing it. Put the strap on him, see what happens. But rather than do that, Vince, in his very small, single-minded entity of a freaking human being, he decided, no, we're just going to leave him at the mid-card and leave him there. And now that he's bigger than the mid-card is, it's, oh, well, you know, it's too late. It's not too late. You put the goddamn belt on Goldberg and nobody damn well cared. Put it on Kingston when we actually give a shit. Like...
You're definitely not wrong there, and we surprisingly got a better rematch between Brock Lesnar and Goldberg at that WrestleMania than we were even expecting.
I mean, granted, I was at the Survivor Series show when Goldberg won in like 90 seconds, was it?
Something like that.
Yeah, it was ridiculously short. I'm like literally sitting in my seat and going, hold up, that was it? What the fuck just happened? Like, that was a nuts thing. Like, there's still 30 minutes left. What is going on? Yeah, but like, seriously, if they need to just take a chance on him. Like, if you go back through the top belt in the company forever, and I mean, like, since the very beginning, an African American person has never, ever held the belt. Ever. You can say, oh, well, The Rock's held it. Yeah, but he leans more towards Samoan. In fact, he's also partially Canadian. I'm going to check that off. also go through and be like, oh, what about Booker T? No. 5-time WCW champion. Thank you very much.
Well, somebody could make the debate about him being the world champion, but I mean, the point that you're making across is, the big title being the WWE title and even the Universal title.
Exactly. Even the Universal title. Never. Not once. Yes, Samoan people have had it, but never an African American. And it's fucking 2019. Are you goddamn well kidding me? If you're going to put it on anybody, it better be damn well Kofi Kingston.
No, I definitely agree. And honestly, the way that I could definitely see how they build it up is have Kofi winning the title at WrestleMania, and the night after WrestleMania, I would actually have Big E turn heel. That way you can have a feud between Big E and Kofi for the belts. Honestly, I think because everybody would win.
That would be ideal. But with our luck, we're going to get fucking Bobby Lashley with it, and we're all just going to go to sleep.
Oh, boy. And then we're going to have Leo Rush, of course, talking blah, 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 blah. We're going to have Daddy beating down on Son. Wait, I'm thinking of a different thing. Nope, it's Leo Rush and Bobby Lashley. Frick, that's right.
Seriously, if I could strangle Leo Rush with my bare hands, I would. The man is a gnat of a human being.
Oh, my gosh. I literally see a lot of his tweets, and I just think to myself, I want to hurt you. I don't know why, but I want to hurt you right now.
Like, there's just certain people where you're just like, if I could get my damn well hands on you, I would do terrible things. Like, Leo Rush is one of those people. The other one on my list for that is fucking Enzo. I hate him, and I always hated him.
Oh, man. Yeah, and there's of course still so many people are just like, but he's innocent now, but he's actually a good guy. It's like, I am actually more on the side of Simon Gotch, where he basically buries Enzo. I'll keep watching that interview that he does talking about Enzo, which literally is one of those things where it's like, wow, this says a lot about Enzo. And I even watched like a little bit of the Enzo deal, where I think one of the funny things is they talk about that time where he broke his leg. Enzo blamed it on like a loose canvas or something like that. And of course, Simon Gotch follows it up by saying, yeah, I've worked on the canvases before. How many times have I broken an ankle? 0. Apparently he's broken it one time. He's done the magical time. It's like, yeah.
Actually, I met Simon Gotch a couple weeks ago at the Black Craft Destiny show in Mississauga. Amazing show, by the way.
Yeah.
Like the main event was Johnny Impact, or John Morrison, as most people know him, versus PJ Black.
Oh,
I don't know who PJ Black is now. Like,
Darewolf. Yep, Justin Gabriel.
Yes, thank you. Most people are like, who? And I'm like, hold on, let me pull up his WWE profile. Like, then you'll get it. But no, Simon Gotch was on that card, and he's actually such a nice person. Like, in general, he's a nice guy. So for, like, people to mess with him makes me mad now. Like,
it was crazy because he was also at All In, and he's one of those guys that I definitely feel bad that I didn't get a chance to interact with, because now that I've seen like the stuff that he's said and some of the things that he's done, it's like, okay, I think I would probably get along with this guy. I probably would not be able to match his awesome mustache, but at the same time, just
he shaved it off.
How dare he?
Okay, he comes out to the ring in like a mask now, and the mask has the mustache on it.
Oh my god, that's awesome. That's amazing.
So it's like, it's okay. It's alright. It's still there in spirit.
Oh my gosh. I literally want, I don't know if he would ever do this, but I would love for him to come out to the Million Ways to Die in the West song of, have a mustache. That would be amazing. Oh man. I mean, it probably will happen in PWG.
Tyler Bate or Trent Seven. Any of those three guys, I'm in.
Oh my gosh. Just the three of them come out with that mustache music.
Yeah, give me Mustache Mountain coming out to that song, and I'm good. I will die happy.
Oh my gosh. I think I might even need to talk to some people and just like, hey, can you just make like a compilation of these guys here just to the song of, Mustache song from Million Ways to Die in the West? Because I think that would just be amazing.
It's okay. So I got this. On March 24th, so I'm in Windsor on the 22nd and 23rd for an Impact show.
Okay.
And on the 24th, I come back to Peterborough, but I'm going to stop in Oshawa, and I'm going to go to an A1 wrestling show, which is run by Ethan Page, who is also amazing. Ooh. And Trent Seven's going to be there, so I'm just going to ask him.
Oh my gosh! Definitely let me know what his response is. Whether he gives you like,
I will let you know how this goes.
Mustache, dude, you got to come out to the mustache. Even if he's like, what are you talking about? You just have to pull up the mustache.
I will show him the song. I will have it queued up on YouTube. I don't even care. This is happening.
Oh my gosh! And even if they did like the whole like stepping deal, that would just be absolutely amazing. Even if they have to have like 3 women just come out and they just do like a little bit of the dance. Literally, I'll just be like, this is the greatest tag team of all time. I don't care what anybody says. Edge and Christian? Nope. Dudley Boys? Nope. Hardy Boys? Who? just the greatest tag team of all space and time. No, greatest tag team of all space and time is Mustache Mountain because they did this. I don't care what anybody says.
One thing for 20 seconds. I don't care.
Just let me have my mustache song and have these 3 awesome dudes with mustaches just come out dancing to it. Just give me that. I'm a happy, happy boy. I can say that I've accomplished everything with my wrestling career. I'm good. But you have other bookings that you have to do. I don't care.
I don't give a flying fuck anymore. This is my song.
This is my song. This is my jam. This is the greatest thing of all time. But, alright, so unfortunately, guys, we're going to have to end this episode. It has been an honor and a privilege to have you on, Danny. Thank you so much for your time. Definitely a lot of fun having you on. And still stands that I still consider you my BFF of wrestling Twitter.
Aww.
So definitely, you guys, be sure to check out Danny on her Twitter. I will definitely have that linked in to the Twitter page, definitely. Hey, you mentioned that you're going to be doing a couple wrestling shows in the next few weeks?
Yeah, I have 2 in Windsor for Impact Wrestling. That's going to be at St. Clair College for 2 days. So that's their tapings before their big pay-per-view in April, which I'm also going to. That's at the Rebel Complex in Toronto. And then I have the A1 show on the 24th of March as well. So I have like a 3-day wrestling binge that I'm doing next week. It's going to be great.
So definitely, guys, if you see Danny, be sure to say hi to her. Do whatever you can. And also be sure to say Valkyrie rules because the Valkyrie rocks. So we've had Nikki Skywalker. We've had Danny Nolan. That just leaves 2. Chris, Kate Murphy. I'm coming for you guys. Not in a creepy way, though, because that would just be weird.
They'll kill you.
No, I believe that. I'm pretty sure I'm going to meet Kate Murphy WrestleMania week, so it's literally going to be one of those things where it's like, I'm going to experience probably one of the Valkyrie members firsthand. It's like, yep, oh boy, I'm a little scared. So for Danny Nolan, I've been Nate the Effing Great. You definitely know where to find us on Twitter, on Facebook. Thank you so much for tuning in, and I'll talk to you guys in the next episode. Bye-bye.